Hi, this is Dr. Rahul Pandya from IIT Dharwad. I welcome you all in today's episode where we are going to explore how to use Gemini to review our first research draft. For an example, let's say I am a researcher. I have completed my initial research work and drafted the paper. Now my next step is to upload to a particular journal for a publication. Now let's say the scenario that after 3 or 4 months of the review process, we may get rigorous comments and my research paper is rejected. Now, how to improve this further? Let's say instead of directly going to a journal for a review, I can put it on Gemini or any of the AI tool and ask it to review. I can set the role of Gemini to act as a critical reviewer and advanced researcher, which can be the editor or maybe the senior researchers who are generally acting as the reviewers for a particular journal. And I'll ask it to give me the critical comments, recommendations. If there are any inefficiencies or deficiencies in my research article from the writing point of view or from the work point of view, I'll ask it to review and give me those comments. By reviewing those comments, what I'll get is the initial idea about my research work and the feedback. Using those comments and suggestions, I can improve my research work as well as I can enhance the quality of my draft. There could be the possibility that sometimes it might suggest to redo some of the works or add new work if the current size of the work and the quality of the work is not sufficient. In that case, we might have to put some extra efforts also to do that if we see fit. Also, based on those comments and recommendations, we can improve the draft. Let's see how to do that. Let's go to my screen and see how to do that. Let's go to that. This is how this Gemini interface looks like. This is how this Gemini interface looks like. And I'm going to take one sample research paper. This is the sample research paper, which I want it to review for me and give me the rigorous comments, right? So you can take any of the paper of your choice. Prompt is extremely important for any tool. We have to set up a prompt nicely. To do that, we need a detailed prompt. Now, please note that if you set up a role and give the prompt nicely to the ChatGPT or any of the AI tool, it will work appropriately and give us the accurate output. For an example, I have written a bit longer and extensive prompt so that it will act nicely and give me the good comments. Here you can see that I'm asking it that you have to act as an internationally recognized researcher, editor, or the expert peer reviewer. And your task is to perform the rigorous publication level review of my manuscript. And I'm asking it to act as a critical reviewer, right? And give me the critical comments and give me the overall assessment. Let's say it has to assess and say overall summary of the work. What are the strengths? What could be the weaknesses? Give me the score also so that I get the quantified measurement of my work. And if the score is low, I can choose to improve it further, right? And specifically, in any of the research work, the novelty is the core. So I'm asking it to check whether the work is novel, whether the contributions are genuine, or are they incremental, or is there any significant contribution that I'm placing? Identify what the reviewers or observers, they will ask from the novelty claim point of view and compare those contributions along, besides this state of the art, right? The existing research papers. So I'm asking it to check that my contributions are novel and how are they different than the existing research works which have been published, which are the state of the art. I'm also asking it to review it critically from the technical point of view or the methodological point of view, right? Evaluate my problem statement or the problem formulation. Is it unique or not? Assumptions, whatever the mathematical derivations, algorithms, models, or the theories, or maybe methodologies, experiments, if there are any flaws, right? If there are any mistakes, misleading deviations, right? Unsupported assumptions, I'm asking it to check very nicely. Specifically, I'm asking it to check if there are any logical inconsistencies and methodological weaknesses. I'm asking it to check, give me the critical comments on my methodologies which I've employed in the current research work. Is it sufficient? Should I supposed to do more? Is it sufficient which can be accepted by a publisher, right? Do the experimental evaluation also. Assess the data set selection, right? Baseline, parameter settings, fairness comparison, statistical validity, and so on, right? So I'm asking it to thoroughly check the experimental evaluation and provide me the viewpoint on it. I'm instructing it to cross-check the literature review also, identify if there are some missing references which I have missed, if there are any recent developments which I couldn't address, any related work which is significantly missed, right? If insufficient comparison, if I haven't considered, look into the results and discussions also, right? Evaluate whether the conclusions are supported. The results are enough, which is identifying the enough trends and the outcomes which are required. Look at the presentation point of view also, whether the language is clean, the presentation is timely and good for the readers. Give me the critical reviews, such as, let's say, detailed major comments, which could potentially come from the reviewers, right? And if there are any minor corrections, give me those. Using those comments, I can address them further, maybe spend a month or two. Sometimes we might have to review and redo some of the work or put some extra efforts for doing the extra work also, right? And give me the whole detailed comment about them, right? And then finally, give me the summary of this. Now I have copy pasted that prompt here. And I'm setting up the role of Gemini to act as a reviewer. The next step is to feed the research paper. And you can see that paper is placed here. Sometimes it might take few seconds to get it uploaded because it's a large file, and it might take some time to review also because it's a large context work. Now you can see, after reviewing, it is giving me the overall assessment of my work. You can see it has given me the summary of the work. What are the major strengths? What are the main weaknesses of the work? And you can see it is giving me the overall score also, the work which I have done and drafted. It says that the work which is drafted here is 4.5 out of 10, which is, you can see, it is very low. I have to substantially rework on my paper and enhance the quality. Let's go through them. It is discussing the novelty claims. You can take a look. I'm not getting in the technical detail because the video is general and meant for everyone. So you can see the evaluation of the novelty claim, whether they are sufficient or not. If the work is not novel, it will say those claims are not novel. It's incremental work. Go ahead and improve. And then we have to do so if it says in that way. You can see the detailed comparison and other things. It is giving me the comments on the technical methodologies. Also, if there are any issues or if it is asking me to enhance, I can do that. Experimental evaluation. Look at this. If there are any lagging or maybe inefficiencies or deficiencies, or some of the works are not proper, it is giving me all this. The comments on reviews also, literature review section also, it is giving me that, right? So if, let's say, some of the papers if I've missed, or some of the trends I'm unable to capture, or right, if there are any missing links, it suggests that I have to include them also. It gives me the comments on results and discussion sections also, if the results are insufficient, or if I have to provide new results. If they're not discussed analytically, I can improve on that further. It gives me comments on my writing and presentation skills also, if there are any typos, or maybe, let's say, if I have to change some format or language issues, gives me the recommendations, right? It gives me the major comments which could lead to the rejection, which I can proactively address and reduce the probability of rejection. gives me the minor comments. Often reviewers on the journals, they give us the major 10 reasons that would lead to the rejection, and it is giving me proactively those comments, right? Because of them, it could lead to the rejection. Proactively, I can address them in my research paper. I can improve the quality of the work. If I do that, that will help me to reduce the probability of rejection. In the next time, I can improve the chances of my paper getting through published, right? The publication process very easily. These are, you can say, top 10 required revisions, which could substantially improve the quality of my research work as well as the draft. And then finally, it gives me the revision roadmap, also what we should fix and in which order it should fix, right? So this is really great. This is really great. This is how I can improve the quality of my research work as well as the review paper before I upload it to a journal proactively. That helps me to reduce the probability of rejection. That's all we have for today. Keep learning, and thank you very much for your time. See you in the next video. Goodbye.